A young wife and mother's death ruled a suicide until the Fox 31 problem solvers did some digging, uncovering new evidence that points to murder.
I didn't shoot my wife!
Her husband maintains his innocence as prosecutors vowed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt
that it is him who pulled the trigger.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Erica Gonzalez in for Deborah Takahara.
And I'm Jeremy Hubbard. It is a murder trial 2 years in the making. Attorneys delivering opening statements today in Weld County Court in a case that would likely never have gone to trial if the Fox 31 problem solvers hadn't gotten involved after being contacted by Ashley Fallis' parents.
And now it's up to a jury to decide if Fallis is guilty. We've got special team coverage starting with Fox 31 Denver's Julie Hayden. She's live at the courthouse with what happened in court today. Julie?
Well, you know, the family says they have waited 4 years for their day in court to testify against the man they believed killed their daughter. On the other hand, though, defense attorneys say Ashley's family simply cannot accept the truth that she killed herself.
Say there's no way 28-year-old Ashley Fallis committed suicide after hosting a New Year's Eve party at her Evans home.
A wife, a mother, who just spent the entire night with her friends and family.
Witnesses say she was having fun.
She was just in a good mood.
Prosecutors say what they call missteps by Evans police led to an initial ruling of suicide. But new information and an analysis of the crime scene show that Ashley died when her husband, former Weld County Jail Deputy Tom Fallis, shot her in the head.
Whether you believe that Ashley Fallis, a young mother of 3, with her whole life ahead of her, in a matter of moments, went from happy-go-lucky and saying goodbyes to her parents, to walking into her bedroom, pulling out a gun, her kids, just rooms away, 2 of them still awake, and putting a bullet in her head. Or whether you believe that the one person who every witness will describe as being as angry as you can possibly be, whether that person, in the course of those 4 minutes, is the one who's responsible for her death.
I can no longer go on living this life.
But defense attorneys say Ashley had a history of mental illness and was suicidal that night, having suffered a miscarriage that morning.
Tom Fallis did not kill his wife.
Fallis cried as defense attorneys describe what they say happened. He watched from across the room as his, quote, soulmate grabbed her gun and killed herself.
The science proves it. The evidence proves it. Ashley's own words proved that she committed suicide.
Now, there are a lot of emotions here at the courthouse in Weld County. Families on both sides are scheduled to testify, as are the couple's 2 young daughters. The trial itself expected to take about 3 weeks. In Greeley, Julie Hayden, Fox 31 Denver.
It's going to be emotional. Thank you so much, Julie. Now, an investigation by former Fox 31 Denver problem solver Justin Joseph is what broke this case wide open, and the defense addressed that in court today.
Justin Joseph, a reporter with Fox News, took on their story. A reporter whose job it is to make ratings.
Justin now works at our sister station in Virginia, but he's still following this trial very closely. He joins us live now from Norfolk. Justin, what was your take on day 1 of these proceedings?
Well, you know, I thought both sides did reasonably well, you know, but hanging over the courtroom from what I was able to listen to was, remember, 2 people have allegedly heard Tom Fallis confess to this crime, and so you saw a lot of really tactics from the defense to create distractions. From what I'm told from people who were inside the courtroom, really that hung over this as jurors are anxious to get to that evidence.
And Justin, we heard from friends and former co-workers of both Ashley and Tom Fallis on the stand tonight, folks who had spent Ashley's last night alive with Ashley and Tom. Who had the most compelling testimony, do you think?
Well, you know, I think really many of them did. You heard from one of her former co-workers who talked about how Ashley was a fun-loving person. That night she was in a good mood despite what the alleged news about her pregnancy said. You know, I thought a lot of it was very compelling, but I don't think really either side scored many points today, to be perfectly honest.
And a quick question, gunshot residue, a lot of talk about that in court today too. Whose side did that help or hurt?
You know, I thought that was one of the defense's most powerful points. They said that Ashley Fallis did not have GSR or gunshot residue on her hands, whereas, or rather, she did have that on her hands, whereas Tom Fallis did not. However, having said that, there's going to be a lot of other evidence that comes out, and I think you'll see that over the next 3 weeks that does support, at least what the family says, the evidence that Tom Fallis shot his wife.
All right, Justin, good to see you again. I'm sure we'll be chatting again soon. Thanks for all your coverage on this case. Remember, we have been covering this case since the very beginning. You can count on us for continuing courtroom coverage and insight you won't get anywhere else. We'll be live tweeting from the courtroom throughout the entire trial. Just follow @KDVR and @Hayden TV for the latest developments in this case.